My name's Adam.
My name's Luke.
The documentary you're about to see is of our 2,147 nautical miles Atlantic crossing from Cape Verde to Martinique in January of 2022.
We did this on board our boat Atlas, a Rival 34, built in 1979. This is our story.
Good morning, everyone. I can't wipe the smile off my face. Today is the big day. We are setting off in about an hour to cross the Atlantic Ocean to Martinique.
Are we crossing an ocean?
Yeah. Actually going to cross an ocean.
Weird, isn't it?
This is something we've always dreamed about ever since we started sailing when we were children. And the reality is here. It's going to happen now.
We were leaving in about an hour, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Cape Verde time. Love you too, Mum.
Love you too. I love you, Nige.
Love you, Nige.
Love you, boys.
Yeah, see you on the
Take
other
care,
side.
boys. Have a good time.
Yeah.
We'll see you in Martinique then.
Ready for this? 20 days at sea,
Yeah,
roughly.
ready?
Shake now.
Good
Good luck. Shake when we get there. Here we go!
Oh, we're mental.
Who there yet? Look at that. It's so incredible.
It must have shoals.
We're doing 3.2 knots, 5 knots of breeze.
Oh, this is unbelievable after being. Just a quick update. We had some wind earlier, didn't we?
Looks good.
Bit a bit nervous tonight because
Day 13, woke up. Couldn't be different morning.
so we are off. The first challenge is to get between this island and the next island, which is over there. You can't see it, which is hazy today. You can just see something over there. And then we've got to go around the back of this island ahead of us. There's going to be no wind, so we're going to have to motor around the back of it. And then we're out into the ocean. We should have clear winds all the way. So the inevitable has happened. We're now at the lee of the island, sheltered in from the wind. So we're on the engine, doing 4 knots. We should be on the engine for about 10 miles if we're lucky, 15, 20 miles if we're unlucky, to get into the normal trade winds, northeasterly trade winds. So yeah. It's quite uncomfortable going on the engine in really hot weather because it heats up the inside of the boat. Something terrible. We've got heat proofing around in the engine bay, but it still heats up everything. So
Wind.
something is developing here.
See out there, and see ahead of us there. Definitely see ahead of us there where the
Wind.
sun's on the water. You can see wind out there. Wind over there. White horses over there. You see? So,
Oh, it's not too much wind.
I reckon 15-20 knots running down past the island.
There's definitely wind up ahead.
Yeah.
So we just switched the engine off. Probably a little bit premature. We're going to slow down too much, but it's 6 knots of breeze, so we should get 3 knots out of that.
Maybe it was a little bit slow.
Yeah, premature. Definitely a breeze though, so that's all that matters.
Action.
Neppy is on.
She is.
The first time.
First time on the trip.
She might be over the whole 2,000 miles, which is just incredible.
That would be amazing.
We're going to head a little bit southwest because there's a blue hole if we head directly west.
Stay out of it. 24 hours we think, southwest.
Yeah.
Until our weather guy tells us to stop going southwest.
Just to get down and over a bit.
Yeah.
Down a bit more south to get more on the trades.
Yes.
Can't believe I'm saying that. To get more on the trades, we're going to head a little bit southwest.
Yeah.
For the first 24 hours and then west. Yeah. We've got 17 knots beam reach. We put a reef in the main and a reef in the Genoa. We didn't really expect this. Expect about 10 knots, but we think because we're just clearing the island, we're getting a little bit of wind acceleration. I bet it'll calm down now, but we're just about to have tea, which is tuna pasta bake. No fresh tuna. So we're sailing into the sun at the end of the day. It's the first time heading west on this trip. I can't believe it really, it's incredible. We're actually sailing across an ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. Oh, it's really unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Fish on.
Yeah, just noticed it.
Yeah.
Don't know how long it's been on. How the hell did you get these clips on?
They're heavy.
Yeah.
Do you want a hand?
Sliding on these clips. So we nearly had a massive Maui up, the same fish we caught last time, but it was bigger than last time. And as we were bringing it on board, we got it out of the water, and as we were bringing it on board, it wriggled like mad and the line snapped. It was too heavy for the line. So yeah, it's taken our lure and everything, but it doesn't matter. We've got 2 spare lures. But on the first day, we've had nearly 2 fish already. So fingers crossed we'll get a fish for tomorrow. Just a quick update. It is 4 o'clock in the morning, just for the first night. Everything's going well really. We got between about 7 and 10 knots. Really calm. Both managing to get a bit of sleep. First night is always a bit difficult really. But yeah, it's just really calm and nice and good sailing. Doing between 3 and 5 knots. Yeah, it's nice.
Good morning everyone. Welcome to your first morning at sea, crossing the Atlantic. What an absolutely beautiful morning it is. Got about 10-15 knots of wind. Alright, that's eased a little bit now. Still a load of flying fish around, there's one over there. Got big flying fish there on the decks.
Where?
Last night.
Oh no!
Another one up there. Yeah, they're hitting the boat last night.
Perfect sailing conditions though. Hello everybody.
Lovely, isn't
My
it?
name's Luke. Perfect, Dad.
As you know, we
Beautiful.
don't like the first night at sea because you can never really get to sleep properly. You know, agitated and stuff, but
It was okay though.
it wasn't too bad. A lot of broken sleep, but it'll catch up now. We got like 20 odd days to get used to it anyway. We encountered a lot of flying fish every morning on the decks for the entire crossing.
Yeah. And then the start, the first 24 hours, we could not have asked for a better 24 hours. We had the perfect start to to our Atlantic crossing. Got a bird trying to land on top of the boat.
It's a white-tailed thingy.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. I think he just wants to rest.
Well, he's after the lure.
Is he? He's coming in for another landing. Will he make it this time? Oh, oh, he's landing on. Oh, will he land on the front? The wind's off and on today, isn't it?
Very off and on.
I mean, it's blowing back up again now. Goes up to 8 knots and Neppy gets back on course, and then it goes to 6 knots and Neppy goes into the wind a bit. But yeah, we might have to get Jim Bob going and get the spinnaker up. Where's he gone?
Doing laps.
Yeah, he's coming in for the mast again, I think.
Coming in upwind, going to the mast.
There he goes. Oh, is he going to land this time? Oh, he's right put off by all the instones up there. Oh, I don't think they're going to do it. Hope he doesn't break anything up there. He's coming in for another go.
Come on, you can do it. Go on.
Oh, he's just scared for the instruments.
Spinning. Good morning, everyone. It's day 2, 48 hours. In the last 24 hours, we covered 76.4 miles, which is not particularly great. It's Saturday, 15th of January 2022. Now, we just received a weather forecast off David Wheatley. He's given us a forecast for the next 3 days. It's looking rubbish. 2 to 6 knots until Tuesday, and today is Saturday. So we could be pretty much becalmed or struggling to cover any distance west at all for the next 3 days. Well, yeah, 3 days. And then it looks like it's picking up then. 10 knots on Tuesday, and hopefully picking it back up to normal. We just need the Azores high to be over the Azores again. At the moment, I think they got high pressure in the UK and a low near over the Azores, and it's not giving us any wind at all down here. We've got a long way to go.
We're okay though.
We're fine, we're comfortable, plenty of food and water, we just need some wind. Frustrating.
So when we got this news about us possibly being becalmed for 3 days, we were disappointed and we were excited at the same time, weren't we?
Yeah, we've never been becalmed before. We've never done a big passage like this, and to be becalmed pretty much from the start, possibly for 3 days, was just starting to dawn on us a little bit, I think, wasn't it? Welcome to our tent. We've rigged up a little makeshift, just a little tent to keep the sun off us, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so hot.
Because yeah, it is hot.
It's a bit crude.
It is a bit crude.
But it works.
Because we're becalmed. We just want to keep the sun off. The sun's up there, see?
Cool. In shade
In shade in here, see? And we've put the mainsail covered on, as we're not going to get any wind for the next 3 days, we believe. Hopefully we'll get something.
You wouldn't believe we're in the Atlantic Ocean. It's so flat. There's a ripple of a breeze now and again, but that's all you're going to get for the next 2 days after this day. A ripple. Just have to wait it out. Wait for some wind. Carry on. Well, that's another day finished. That was a becalmed day. There's a little bit of a breeze this evening. Let's hope it stays here and we keep moving this evening and tonight, but I don't count on it. Forecast isn't great for the next couple of days. Now, we got our large asymmetrical spinnaker down because it wasn't enough wind for it at all, and it was just hanging in the water. So we got up our other spinnaker. It's a smaller, it's really thin and really light, and it seems to be staying inflated. But yeah, what an incredible sunset we have here. Those clouds look like mountains. It's amazing. Good morning everyone. Day 3, morning of day 3. Still becalmed. Been becalmed 24 hours now. Don't sound very happy. Just drifting. Sucks. Need to get moving. Had only just started this trip. I just stuck in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. You just find yourself staring out at sea looking for wind patches, thinking, oh, that wind patch there looks better than what we got here. There's nothing here. I wonder if that's coming our way, and it comes, and with a little 5 knots of wind for about a couple of minutes and it's gone. There was one upside to being becalmed. We got to swim in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, which was amazing. Incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah.
We'll still be calm the second day, so I've decided to go in for the swim.
Okay.
I'm scared. It's 4,500 to 5,000 meters deep.
Yeah.
Wow, 5,000 meters deep.
Really deep.
I've always wanted to do this.
Today's a perfect day for it. We've got the swim ladder down, and we got a tether just down there to there. We're not even moving, so he's gonna go in, then I'm gonna go in, one at a time. Safety. Have fun.
I'm a little scared.
Not gonna be the warmest out here. Excuse me using his boxer shorts, but 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big belly flop.
It's gorgeous.
Is it?
Yeah.
Rocking horribly we are. Can you see the bottom?
No. It's still warm.
Is it? Is it clean?
There's fish under the boat.
Fish? Eating the stuff on the bottom.
Wow. So this is another dream come true. Within 5,000 meters of water, and I'm swimming, and below me there is nothing but 5,000 meters of gorgeous warm water. And there is Atlas just bobbing, and there's no wind whatsoever. I am looking out for sharks. We are swimming around the boat for good luck, for wind. Hopefully we'll get it. But this is the best thing I've done since we left and had no wind, because the water is gorgeously warm. Absolutely gorgeous. I could stay in here for hours. There's one. Great whitehead. Oh yeah, I'm keeping an eye out.
What's that?
What?
Fish. Swimming away from something.
Where? A fish? Where? Was it?
Yeah.
You've got to swim on the boat for good luck. There's nothing there. I couldn't see anything. Did you? Oh. Look at this. Maui Maui there.
group of them.
Yeah.
Group there and two there.
Look at that. Incredible. I want a little one.
You'll never get that.
He was interested in that then.
Yeah, he likes to go with fast things, he's like. It's too big, he'll lose our lure.
I'll wear it out.
Looks desperately trying to catch this giant Maui. Oh, he's absolutely gigantic.
He is big. Just gonna lose the lure, isn't he?
Yeah, he'll just take it. It's just ridiculously big.
You could say, I was going to say we're in the middle of the Atlantic, but we're not quite in the middle of the Atlantic, we're nearly. Spirits are much better than yesterday, having done all that stuff this morning. And there's plenty of wildlife to keep us occupied, like Maui swimming around the boat. It's been quite incredible, really.
Good afternoon everyone, it's 12:15 in the afternoon, Sunday 16th of January 2022. This is day 3. Past 24 hours we've done 34.8 nautical miles to the west, which is quite frankly terrible. We've been in a situation for the last 24 hours where we've been becalmed, just drifting west and catching these tiny little breezes across the sea, ripples, chasing ripples across the sea basically. We're hoping it's going to change in the next 24-48 hours for some better winds. That's where we are. There's Cape Verde. It's about 27-28 degrees today, very humid and very hot. Let's hope for some better weather in the next couple of days to continue our passage west to Martinique. We've had enough, haven't we, Luke?
Yeah, we've had enough.
We've had enough being becalmed, so got the oars out.
We're going to paddle there.
We're going to paddle our way to Martinique.
To the Caribbean. Ready?
Yep.
Yeah, we're doing 0.7 knots.
There you go. Right, there's wind approaching.
There is wind approaching.
Let's get serious.
Let's get serious, yeah. We're getting serious. After a couple of days of being becalmed, we were trying to keep our spirits high, as you can tell from the video. But behind the scenes, we had a little bit of a disaster, didn't we, with the water situation?
We did.
We were worrying.
Yeah, we did. We had 2 of our water bags, 2 10-litre water bags, actually split. We had them in the lockers outside and they split. So that, we lost 20 litres of water there, and we're thinking, how long are we going to be becalmed for? And obviously, you run out of water at sea, you're in serious trouble.
Yeah, it was so early on in the, 2,100 miles across the Atlantic. We was thinking, well, a bit panicky. Where should we turn around and go back and get more water, or should we just carry on? Can we trust the wind? If we get becalmed again for a week, are we going to run out of water?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was on our minds quite a bit.
Yeah, it was always in the back of my mind, have we got enough water for the trip? We did. We made sure we had plenty of water, but you don't know how long you can be becalmed out there for.
Yeah.
It's the evening meal of day 3 on another becalmed day, but to cheer this up, we had a good day today anyway. Cheer this up, we've got spaghetti bolognese kind of thing. It's from a tin with pasta and tomatoes and cheese.
And the wind is filling in a little bit.
It is, isn't it?
Even though we're going basically south when we should be going west.
Yeah, at least we're moving somewhere, not drifting east like we were today.
Delicious.
Yeah. Good morning everyone. This is the morning of day 4, I think then. Yeah, last night was a bit odd. It was like we were anchored in a bay because the sea was just completely flat. We had all the sails down and we just drifted all night long. We drifted how many miles?
2.5.
2.5 miles, and we went
South.
around in circles once. Nothing we could do. But this morning, well, they're predicting 7 knots today from the north-east. And we just put the spinnaker up on the side. Dropped the main because it was covering it. I'm just going to see how we get on today. So it's meant to be picking up now from today onwards. All next week's going to be really good, so it should be really fast sailing again.
So after our becalmness, we
Is that even a word?
have had wind. We have had wind. No.
We've got wind. Well, we had wind most of the day, haven't we? It's gone a little bit light
Yeah.
now. Bit worrying.
After our calmness, our becalms of 3 days, we finally got some wind.
It's nice,
Oops.
eh?
We've had wind most of the day. But it's going a bit light now. We'll probably peter off to nothing this evening and then we'll be left drifting.
I don't think so.
No. It's due to pick up all the time. Oh, how wonderful.
It does go up and down, lulls and things, but
Wonderful.
it is going up more. We're getting a bit more and more wind.
Day 5. Been out here for 5 days. And we haven't done many miles. Hopefully the wind, yeah. Do it every day, don't we? Hopefully it'll increase today. As you can see, we've got the spinnaker up. But we only got 4 or 5 knots of wind. But we're doing 3 knots through the water, or speed over ground, we're doing 3 knots, so better than nothing, you know. We're making way, and this 24 hours looks like we're going to be doing about 75 miles in this 24 hours, which is really good, to be honest. You know, you can't, you know, be, yeah, niggy about that.
No,
Adam's getting all niggy though, or frustrated.
a bit frustrated. It's just not as forecast all the time. Meant to have 10 knots and given like 5 or 6. And last night we had the spinnaker up and we took it down. And then I'm always moaning. Between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning, we'd have in between 3 and 10 knots from the beam and then from the stern. It's constantly changing. So the sails were constantly banging and flapping, the main going up and down, banging. No consistent wind in a consistent direction at the minute. Which is really, really frustrating.
Yeah, I think because we're only about 300 miles away from Cape Verde in 5 days. Yeah. I think we need to get out more and get in some trades. I'm not sure really. Yeah, not sure.
Who says we don't eat healthily anymore? Because we do. Tuna, sweet corn and tomatoes with a little bit of cheese.
Yeah, we need to eat this cheese because it's going rotten.
Yeah, the cheese has gone really, it's melting. Good morning everyone, it is day 6 of crossing the Atlantic Ocean, and I don't know if you can tell by the boat movement, we have good wind. Last night it was started to build. We had the spinnaker up until about 4 AM last night, and we've done a sail change, got it down, got the genoa back out, the mainsail back out, and we've been cruising about 5 to 6 knots ever since. We got 10 to 13, 14 knot gusts. Absolutely fantastic. We are really moving on at quite the click now. And it's going to be, we've already done 100 miles and we haven't done 24 hours yet, so it's going to be a really good 24 hours. Good mileage at last. Fantastic. So we decided to make ourselves some bread. We've never made bread before in our lives, and we decided to do it in the middle Atlantic Ocean.
Didn't research it
We
neither.
didn't research any of it, but it turned out pretty darn tasty, didn't it?
It was tasty.
Yeah, and Luke managed to throw a load over himself.
Yeah. Today on board on boat cooking life. I sound like an idiot. We're gonna try and make some bread. I've never made bread in my life, so I've read up the instructions very, very briefly. So we'll see how this turns out.
Yeah. Alright.
How much flour do you think?
No idea.
That'll be enough, won't it?
Yeah.
Should research this. And then just yeasty water. And I'm just gonna mix it up. We need to make it like a dough.
Do.
And then let it and then just let it, I don't know, let it rise for half an hour.
Be nice if this works out and get some fresh bread.
Yeah. I might as well use the rest of that then, innit?
Yeah. Put that in and mix it up good, and then we'll do some. Yeah,
I feel like I'm on TV. Cook it.
Yeah, it's waiting for that. Just throwing it all over
Have you got
himself.
a towel, please? Oh, shit. Good night.
We believe that's done. Just gonna leave it to rise. Hopefully it'll rise. Echo, echo, echo.
I can't.
All over yourself.
It's everywhere. It's all over my sheet. All over the cushion.
Welcome back to part 2 of the bread making series.
It's risen.
Heavily.
Yeah.
Which means you've done something right.
Yeah. I don't know what to do.
Alright, put some flour on there. And then you're going to need it because I can't, because I cut my finger.
You don't have to knead it, do we?
Right. Start gathering and doing stuff to it.
Should I just make, I don't know, bread rolls we're gonna make?
Yeah. Are you even putting patterns on them? Oh, how hot the oven's got to be, look.
Hot-ish, and it's gotta cook for a few minutes. I don't know.
I'd say bread 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Just keep an eye on it, innit?
Yeah.
Bread smells like it's done. Let's hope they come out edible. Yeah.
I'm amazed.
Looks nice.
Oh, a bit hard.
Yeah. We'll cook them for too long.
No.
Here's the bread we made. It doesn't even look like bread we made. It looks like it's something you buy from the shops. Good morning, everyone. It is 10:30. Today marks 1 week at sea. 7 days. Looks like we've probably got another 2 weeks and maybe a day or two. All depends on the weather, really. But we're going to check the mileage at midday today, and I should imagine it'll be a record so far. We've been cruising along nicely for the last 24 hours. Good afternoon, everyone. It is the 20th of January 2022, just gone midday. Temperature's the same as yesterday, 26 degrees. The wind is pretty much the same, 5 to 15 knots northeast. In the last 24 hours we've done 114 nautical miles to the west. Average speed of 4.75 knots, which is better. Total distance 555.3 nautical miles. And the distance to go to the Caribbean is 1,561 nautical miles. The wind has eased right off this morning. We've been blessed with good wind for the last 48 hours. The prediction's still 5 to 15 knots, but yeah, we've got about 5 knots. So we had to get the main down because it was crashing. The Genoa wasn't doing anything, so we got the spinnaker up to try and make some progress with that. But it's left behind quite a sloppy, confused sea, so it's a bit rocky on board and things are banging and crashing around a bit, so it's a little bit challenging today, but that's all part of sailing, I suppose. Waiting for the wind to kick back in again. Once it gets over our allocated strength, which is about 12-13 knots for the spinnaker, we'll get it down and get the Genoa back up. But if it's not enough for the Genoa, we'll put up our smaller loafer spinnaker thing. Just saying, this travelling at sea is just like nothing else on the planet, is there?
No, for 3 weeks.
3 weeks at sea. I mean, it's just, I can't get the words out. It's undescribable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it?
We got another 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks left, I think.
2 weeks left.
Each day just... Where does the days go?
Don't know. Fly by, don't it?
Fly by, yeah. It's been a week already. It's just the constant... You're just constantly living on a small boat. Travelling continuously across an ocean. It's just mind-boggling, isn't it?
It is mind-boggling, yeah.
God.
Old way of living.
Yeah. If only other people can experience this. Yeah, it's just a different world out here, isn't it? It really is a different world. Incredible.
What's happening? We just had a increase in knotages of
Yeah.
about 8 knots. So we've got 18 knots.
18 knots.
And we've got a fully reefed main.
Starting to full main, not reef.
And we've got a squall coming.
Rain.
Rain.
We were just doing 7 knots through the water. You could hear it. It's from that.
There should be quite a lot of rain due because of the wind.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to rain.
What happens if it gets really windy and you can see rain on the horizon, you know, and it gets really windy and you know there's quite a lot of rain in that squall because the rain pushes the wind ahead of it. And that's why it gets really windy before it really lashes down.
Yeah, 19 knots. Shifting now, ain't we?
Yes!
Just done 7.9 knots.
Yes!
Let's put a reef in the main.
Yeah. We're just having a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
We've got this squall coming and we're just enjoying the speed for the bit. As I've been frustrated since we left due to lack of wind.
Yeah.
Now suddenly we've got some wind.
I
It's
know.
lovely.
Tons of wind.
It's fantastic.
That's what this boat can do, isn't it?
Yeah.
20 knots downwind.
The flight.
Absolutely flies.
We've been slow, but you know, She's a fast boat. She's in these winds.
Yeah.
Get cold.
Anyway, we got all this rain coming behind us. It's probably coming from that, most of it. So we're gonna put a reef in the main now and then do the dishes.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning. We got a thunderstorm, thunder and lightning storm. The wind is increasing to 25 knots, and there's lots of lightning around, and it's tipping down with rain. Just a bit nervous at the moment. Yeah, not the best. It's thunder and lightning storm. What do you want to do? Do you want to get the main down?
Let it wind up for now.
Yeah.
Get it down to 26 knots.
26.
North. The boat turned itself around
Yeah, it did.
because the wind dropped off. And then it all went mad.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hopefully it won't get any worse. Don't know if I can record any lightning. It's too dark to record. The storm is just over there. It's a few miles away, I think. No, the GoPro won't pick it up. Oh, it did then. Yeah, so it's 3 o'clock in the morning. As you've seen in the video, we counted a thunderstorm, and it was pretty nerve-wracking because obviously if the mast gets hit by lightning, then it can really damage your electrics and even cause fires on the boat or cause damage. So it was nerve-wracking, and it's the first thunderstorm we've ever been in while sailing in a boat.
Yeah. Especially out there in the middle of the ocean. Basically, you're just at the mercy of what the weather's going to throw at you.
Yeah.
So if there's a thunderstorm coming your way, you hope and pray you're not on a direct course of that thunderstorm is going to pass you by. But yeah, it's a scary thing about being out there, and the wind can increase tenfold as well, from a different direction as well. Good morning everyone. After last night's shenanigans with thunderstorms, today, as predicted from our weather guys, we're in a wind hole. We've got about 3 to 5 knots of wind coming from astern. We've got the main down because it was slamming. Got the spinnaker cut up, which is barely flying. Just debating whether to motor our way 30 miles west into the wind area again, because we're in a very thin slither of no wind zone. There's a slight breeze picking up from the south, so I just put the mainsail up and the genoa. Not doing much at the minute, but I'm hoping it's going to fill in a little, get through this hole. What I have made is a water catching device for next time we have some thundery showers. I'll show you. Last night I was underneath this boom, 3 o'clock in the morning, with a pan under here, because water pours down the sail into here and comes out here. It literally pours out there like a tap. I was under there with a pan, collected 3 litres of water in a couple of minutes. So I made this bit, it's a plastic container onto there, little pipe going from there into a say about 12.5 litre water bag. So next time we have a torrential rain, it'll collect in here, fill this bag up, and then we can replace that with another bag or put that in our main tank.
So we are halfway across or nearly halfway across the great Atlantic Ocean. And we just like to give a shout out to one of our patrons, Stephen Bradley. He's been following us on his virtual simulator, the Sail Away simulator, and he has followed every single leg we've done since we left the UK, Pembroke in the UK, all the way down to the Canaries, Cape Verde, and now he is sailing across the great Atlantic Ocean with us. It's been really fantastic to chat to him and see what his experience is like compared to our own experience, and it's remarkably similar really. And it's been great to chat to him through Garmin and on the messages, and yeah, it's just been really fun. Now just thanks very much, really appreciate it. So the time is 5 to 8. It's 10 days we've been at sea. We'll be approaching the middle in about 160 miles. As you've seen from the earlier on in the video this morning, we had no wind at all. Again, becalmed. But throughout the day, the wind has been slowly picking up, and it's picking up nice now. We got the spinnaker up and doing 3.5 knots. So we got 1,200 miles, nautical miles to go to Martinique. So if we get good trades, we should do it in 11 or 12 days. Oh, it seems so incredibly long. We've been out here 10 days. Yeah, it's almost like we're living out at sea. It's crazy how vast the ocean is. I've said this before, but you just don't experience anything like this unless you come out and do it yourself, I suppose. It's just crazy how much water there is on this planet, and this is only one ocean. It's not even the biggest ocean. It's crazy. So it's day 12 already, and the sailing today is fantastic. We've got 8 to 10 knots on a coming this way, as you can see by Neppy from stern quarter, and we're doing 5 knots speed over ground. We've got the full main up, and we got the little lightweight spinnaker, which is doing fantastic, giving us really good boost of speed. It's a good morale day because we caught 2 little small tuna this morning, and we're gonna have them for lunch. And we've passed the halfway mark. We're about 3 miles past the halfway, so we're right in the middle of the Atlantic, and we're closing in finally on the Caribbean, even though it's over 1,000 miles away. But we are over halfway, and we're gonna have a little celebration later. What are you doing, Ed?
I have no idea. So we reached halfway. We were absolutely ecstatic because we're not getting further away from land. We're starting to get closer and closer to our destination.
Martinique, yeah.
It was incredible.
It was a special moment.
It was a special moment.
As we say, it was all downhill from the halfway mark to the Caribbean.
Yeah. Making pancakes. Made a pancake mix from scratch for our halfway across the Atlantic celebrations.
Okay.
So I'm attempting to make pancakes. It's a bit lumpy, so I'm going to whisk, but here we go.
Looks delicious.
If we can get like 2 each, should be happy. Put some jam on there, butter.
Yeah.
So what does today represent, Luke?
It's halfway. We got over halfway. We got less than halfway.
We're right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. We're halfway to Martinique. And to
Incredible.
celebrate the occasion, this wonderful occasion, excuse me, we made some pancakes today. 4 delicious pancakes there. We're going to have for a treat for tonight. Yeah. Plus, we've gone all out with this, and we've made some halfway hats. How do I look? Halfway hat.
Halfway.
This is how much time we've got on our hands when we're on passage to make a hat and pancakes. Yeah, so this is our special occasion and we're going to enjoy these pancakes. It's downhill to Martinique from here on out. Absolutely brilliant, loving it. What do you think of the passage so far? Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, good. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
I'm doing an Adam.
That's me. Tiny bit of to do I'm good. Worth all the wait. I can't believe we are right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. There's 1,000 miles to our east and 1,000 miles to our west, and more to the north and more to the south. We are in the middle of nowhere. We haven't seen another vessel or anyone for how long?
8 days.
8 days. There's nothing. We haven't seen anyone. We couldn't get any more further away from people.
We are some of the most isolated people on the planet right now.
It's damn true. Damn true. It's a good morale boost. As you know, we've been plagued by light winds and things. It's been a mental battle, and yesterday I was feeling a little bit low, just a bit fed up of it all. But the wind's picking up, and we're halfway, and it's all the way home now. It just feels good. Just watching the water collecting device work.
Yeah.
Looking sheep.
Hopefully it's not too salty because it hasn't had a rinse off in a while.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just standing here eating absolutely disgusting, horrible crackers.
The cheap version of the British ones.
I bought them in Spain and they're just not like they were advertised as cream crackers, but they're not creamy enough.
Flaky and dry.
Going down now, isn't it? Oh my god. That's good timing. See that the sea is really built up already. Just a tiny little increase in wind and the sea builds up so quick. But then it takes double, triple or quadruple time to come back down again.
Little update on our rain catcher. We got a quarter of a bag. These are about 10-litre bags. We just filled one of these completely to the top after 10 minutes of rain. It overflowed, was coming out of there. So we got 10 litres and about another 3 in there, and it's still running off. It just runs down the main, down there, and collects into there. It's fantastic. If we had like rain for a couple of hours during the afternoon, we'd fill our tanks that quickly and that easily. There's more rain coming, so be careful with the Jenny up. Don't want to get another squall. Probably gonna get another squall. So after I made the water catching device and we successfully started catching quite a bit of water, that really did put our minds at ease, because we knew that if we carried on having rain showers like this, then we are not going to run out of water, because the amount of water we were collecting off the sail was quite impressive.
Yeah, we were in about 10 minutes we were catching about 10 litres of water in heavy downpours, so we were really pleased. And from that point on, we knew we had enough food on board and we could get loads of water. We were quite happy to stay out there, and if we got becalmed again, we probably wouldn't be so nervous about the water situation.
Just going to fill our water tanks, top them up again. We've got taking all our bags of water, just sucking them in there. It's a bit challenging because it's quite rough. Not that rough, a bit rocky. This is the 4th water bag going in. Should be about 50 litres, 48 litres.
water has never been so
precious. Let's check here's our water bag down here. Yeah, over 3/4 full. Very happy with that. So what's the situation with the water then, Luke? Are we gonna parch to death?
No. Then we've got a nice rain catching solution. It looks like we're gonna have a squall. That's why I put the thing up. Anyway, back to the water. We filled the tank. We used 5 plastic bags, which is between 10 and 15 litres per plastic bag. So it's not much. You only use about maximum of 7.5 litres a day. So we use about 5 to 6 litres a day just drinking. Cooking, we use half seawater and half fresh. Depends on what the project is.
Yeah.
We've got about, I think we can refill the bag. Going on too much now, aren't I?
No, go on, explain it.
We can refill the bag at least 1.5 or 2 times more. So we've got another 26 days of water.
We've been keeping a tally on our water, which is a sensible thing to do. Each day, running down the list, and each line means a litre. So instead of just going nuts on our water, we've been keeping a careful, close eye on it, and we've been doing really well with it. The hotter the day, the more we drink.
Well, the less wind it is, and the less wind it is, we're just like sweltering, so we're
drinking loads of water.
But we're not making ourselves thirsty. We're drinking enough to feel very, very comfortable.
Yeah.
But
it's just,
and the rain has helped us out with cups of tea.
I know, amazing. Good afternoon, everyone. It is the 27th of January 2022. It's just gone midday. Wind today is northeasterly, going east. We're experiencing 8 to 12 knots, should be roughly the same all day. In the last 24 hours, we've done 112.3 nautical miles, which is getting better. 4.6 knots average speed, which is pretty darn good. That's the same average speed as on the 22nd. We've done a total of 1,295 nautical miles, and we only have 836 nautical miles to go. So if the wind keeps up, roughly 8 days, possibly 7.5 days, we'll be in Martinique.
Let's have a look at your injury then, how it's developed. Look at that. That was from a spinnaker rope, wasn't it, on deck?
Yeah.
That could have wrapped around your leg and pulled you in.
It was at night.
Serious, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is serious stuff.
It was pitch black, the wind picked up. I went forward, Luke dropped the halyard for the spinnaker.
Dropped on the floor and went asleep.
And it wrapped itself around my leg. It inflated again somehow. It wrapped itself around my leg and it pulled me on deck a little bit and gave me bad rope burn. It's lucky I had my harness on and I was attached to the boat. If that would have wrapped itself around my leg properly, I could have been overboard. It would have been bad. So that's a good reason why you should always wear your harness at night.
We've got a little task today. We're just going to check our standing rigging, which we do every few days. Just show you how we do it. Go on in, Ed.
Well,
obviously we can't go up the mast.
No, we've been at the mast in Cape Verde. It's just a visual check to make sure the split pins are still in there. That should be a little bit bent over. You don't want to lose. There you go, a split pin.
Just checking for cracks, splits.
Just checking the shroud, checking
the wires and stuff.
Split pin's good in there. There's only one pin on that side. Just a visual check really. This.
That's it, it's done.
Yeah,
looks good.
Let's do all this rigging for this.
And then go on to the next one. One of the main reasons why we checked our standing rigging, even though you should check your standing rigging quite regularly on longer trips, is because we had word off one of our weather people who's giving us weather through the Garmin that we possibly have 35 knots and stronger winds coming. It's just a visual check, because all we can do, we can't go up the mast or anything. Just feeling it all and making sure there's nothing gonna fail, fail badly.
There's no cracks in here or anything.
No.
All the pins are in.
Good.
Loads of thread left on there. Pin, pin, pin. Just a bit of dirt on there.
So another job is to check ropes and things like that for chafe. Just checking the end of the spinnaker pole, make sure it's nice and loose, not too tight, not breaking anything. Visual look at the end there to have a look at the ropes to make sure they're all quite nice and tight, not too tight, and there's no chafing going along. Because we've had basically the same sail setup for 14 days, and we've got another 8 days, so over time things can wear. We're just checking all different ropes and stuff, and
Lines, not ropes.
Adam's gonna check the rotor reefing. He's got a special hex tool there. He's just gonna check the nuts and bolts, all the hex bolts are tight and they don't fall out or anything falls in the water. Otherwise it'd be quite screwed. So he's just checking everything. It's been greased, it did. It got greased in Cape Verde, didn't it?
Yeah.
So we did grease it. Checking it.
Main thing to check is under here. We've got a stop block under there.
Nice and loud.
If that comes out, the stop block comes out, you won't be able to furl your jenny. So this is what happened when we picked up our boat. We didn't check this, stop block came out, we couldn't furl the jenny, we had to lower the whole thing. It was a nightmare, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Windy.
it was. It was really windy, yeah.
There's a nut there, and make sure that's tight. Hold it all together. There's only a couple of bolts on here. That's all that holds it together.
Yeah, and there's just a couple of split pins down there.
One there. There's one under here, holding that furler on. That's tight. That's good.
That's basically it, really. We know everything else is good on the boat for now, but it's just the best to check, visually check. That's all we can do, you know, in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So just checking things out. So it's day 15 tomorrow.
Yeah. Really, day 15?
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Day 15.
It's just
8 o'clock. What time is it? 20 past 8?
20 past 8 now. It's become normal now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like a passage anymore, this.
Yeah.
As you said earlier, it's like a way of life. Just continuously travelling.
Even though we packed plenty of food for our trip, we packed enough like tins and, you know, good storage food, we failed to bring enough fruit and veg. Our veg went off pretty quickly in the heat and our fruit didn't last that long. We should have done a proper inventory before we left, and we didn't pack enough like treats, biscuits, chocolates and crisps, all the junk food, and it wasn't long before we started fantasizing about
Cheese.
Yeah. Missing foods though, aren't we?
We
Yeah, missing chocolate, bread, biscuits, crisps. All rubbish food.
cheese.
Cheese! Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot that.
We ran out of cheese within the first week.
Yeah, it went rotten, didn't it?
It's too hot.
Can't keep it.
I was saying the other day, I remember saying to you, it's been a week, a whole week at sea.
Yeah.
And then not long after that then, it's like, it's been 2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it?
2 weeks tomorrow.
2 weeks tomorrow.
I thought we left on Thursday.
We did.
It's Friday tomorrow, Saturday tomorrow.
It's not. Thursday today.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks today now,
2
isn't
weeks
it?
today.
We should do, if we're going at this pace, we've got 790 miles to go. We should arrive there on next Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Friday morning, hopefully, innit?
Yeah.
Well, oh, we've had nice trade winds though, haven't we?
Yes.
for the last 24, 36 hours.
Yeah.
Lovely, just blowing constantly the right, correct way. It's lovely. It's
Steady
just
as well.
Steady breeze, yeah, steady breeze.
And then it's off on, off on.
At last.
And if we had a little fridge, we could keep some of the fish for like 3 days and have sandwiches and teas with it instead of having giant platefuls of fish.
You could buy like 5 kilograms of cheese and it would last.
Oh yeah.
Cheese all the way
I
through.
know.
Oh, it'd be like a dream come true.
Cheddar. British cheddar or some red Leicester.
Like a dream come true.
Yeah. Cool cheese. Non-melted.
Oh, I don't care about the coolness, just goes off in 5 days max and then it goes smelly and starts melting.
Stinks, yeah. When we bought it, it was a block and it started shrinking, didn't it? And it went all flat because it melted.
Yeah. Yeah, we put the cheese on the side of the hull to try and keep cool in the water, and the cheese moulded itself to the contours of the hull because it's melting.
Yeah.
Not good. So the wind has gone really light today. So we got Jim Bob on because Neppy was not. Oh, there's a big Maui Maui there again. Big Maui Mauis. Oh yeah. Okay.
Following the boat again.
Maui Mauis, man. Incredible. We can catch them.
It's 3.
Yeah, there is 3. Anyway, we're gonna change. Oh, that is just incredible.
I love that.
Yeah. We're gonna change Neppy's ropes for new ones because we got some strong winds coming tomorrow, building overnight, and then 26, 27 knots. So Neppy's ropes are looking quite chafed.
Yeah, the control lines are very chafed here. We're going to put some new ones on there.
Put some new ones on.
So we got a control line made up there, another one made up there, and then we got a spare line, more spare line, and we got more spare line below decks as well. So we've probably got 6 sets of control lines just in case, but we're going to put this one on. It's slightly thicker than that one for this strongish wind we're going to be having, so it's just a case of putting it on really. Take the old ones off. It's just shackle there to take off, and then 2 on the control arm, and then just fit the other ones. Simple as that. Not to drop the pins from the shackles into the sea.
I'm doing this job, and it's not the best job I can.
We got spare shackles. We bought a load of them, small ones, but if they drop over, they're gone.
Oh, no, I'll swim down and get them.
Swim down and get them, yeah. That's the job complete. New control lines are on. This side I've put a bowline knot because over time this line will stretch. We can move the bowline along. It's nice and tight. This old line won't go to waste. I'm going to cut it up and use it as a reefing line for the mainsail, tidying up the main, so that'll come in handy for that.
This should do us until we get to Martinique.
Definitely. Luke decided to do a talk about mental health because being at sea so long, I think mental health plays a big part in it.
Massive.
Yeah.
So here I am, 15 days we spent at sea. I'm sitting on the foredeck in very light winds, about 6 to 8 knots. It just seems weird really. Just flying the spinnaker, as you can see. I just want to talk about just a little bit about mental health and crossing the Atlantic Ocean. Mental health obviously plays a part in it, especially when you're cooped up with just one other person on a boat. You've got loads of time to think, like loads of time to think, because most of the time you're just thinking because you've got nothing else to do, and it's a long time to cross the ocean. A couple of days I did struggle a bit with mental health, feeling a bit, I don't know, anxious and a little bit frustrated and niggy and stuff like that, because, you know, lack of wind, and it is hard work crossing an ocean. I don't know if you any are aware, but in the past I used to struggle with mental health quite a bit. And I didn't work for a while, and then I was going from job to job, and then when I got the job in Asda, it was the best job I've ever had in my life. People, mainly because the job, I enjoyed the job, and the people were so friendly and accepting, and they just, you know, they were just nice good people, and I met some really good friends there, Jeff in work and things like that. And then, yeah, we decided to do this YouTube thing and go sailing, because we've always both liked sailing, me and my brother. And it turns out that this is actually the best thing I've done in my life, and I feel like this is my I don't want to sound too cheesy, I like cheese, but don't want to I feel like this is my calling, to hopefully sail around the world and earn a bit of money, you know, to help us sail around the world is amazing. And the YouTube thing, I never thought it could be so rewarding. The editing is rewarding. I love editing, I love being creative, and then the people we've met through doing YouTube have been absolutely incredible. I used to think that the world was such a bad and negative place, but because of YouTube and doing videos and sailing, you realise that most people in the world are good people and kind and heartwarming, and I just met some really incredible people, like Henry on Tenerife, and then there's a couple of guys in Scotland. It's just loads of people. It's unbelievable, and the comments that come in and things like that, it really is so rewarding. And yeah, it's just my speech really. I don't know why I'm talking. I don't know even know what I'm talking about really. Yeah, and just get to sail the world is it really is a dream come true, and I couldn't ask for anything more really. It's yeah, it's incredible, really incredible. I just want to add, if there's anybody out there thinking about doing something like this, just go for it, really just go for it, because your dreams might come true as well, and just hope they do. So as you can see behind me, it's been a lovely lazy day today, with the spinnaker up. 7.5 knots of breeze, 4.5, well 4.4 knots of the water, which is quite good at the moment. Jim Bobby's been on all day because there's not enough wind for him to work, and yeah. Tonight the wind is due to pick up a little, so we'll see what happens with that. And then tomorrow we're due to have 20 knots from the east, so that'll be a totally different day.
Good afternoon everyone, today is the 29th of January 2022, just gone midday. Temperature the same as always. Well, it's heating up about 27-28 degrees, very hot. Today we've got a northeasterly. We've got 10 to 13 knots, which is going to increase over the next 36 hours. In the last 24 hours we've done 90 nautical miles, average speed of 3.7 knots. We've travelled 1,492 nautical miles and we have 644 nautical miles to go to Martinique.
It's Saturday today. Sailing has been pretty fantastic today, really. We've 10 or 11 or 8 or 7 knots from the stern quarter again. It's always from the stern quarter, it's always from the same. We've got a full main and basically a full Genoa. Saturday today. On Monday we're expecting 25, 26 knots, possibly 35 in squalls. So today we've been going around doing a bit of maintenance. We've been just preparing for the bad weather. Been tying bits of ropes on the lockers so the lockers don't come open, and we've been securing this hatch at the back here, and we're also going to have a look at our sea drogue just in case we get really severe winds. If you don't know what a sea drogue is, it's a
Dragging device, like a parachute but not quite like a
yeah, it's like a big dragging device. We'll show you. It's like a big parachute, heavy duty parachute that you put trail onto the stern of your boat and 2 long warps, long ropes, and then it goes underneath the surface of the water and it basically slows your boat down. So when you're going down with the wind and you're surfing down with the waves, it will slow you down a good amount, so you get better control of the boat. Because the danger is, if you go surfed on the waves too fast, you can lose control of the boat and the boat can broach, turn onto its onto its bow and then roll over, do a 360-degree roll, which is not good. So we're just preparing the sea drogue just in case. We don't think we're going to need it, but it's best to be prepared. Here's our sea drogue. It's got a shackle on there. It goes like that. And then the water filter there like a parachute and slows you right down. It's got a hole in the end. See it? There you go. Yeah.
And attach a floaty device with a lock surf line here, up there like a fender, so you know where the end of this is. We've stuck some 8mm chain on there. It's about a metre and a half of chain, just to weigh it down a little bit.
Yeah, we would like more, but this is all we got.
Cool.
Put a shackle on there, and then we're going to tie a warp onto it, 2 bits of warp.
Yeah. 2 bits of warp of equal length.
Yeah.
Ah. The only problem with these is once they go out, is retrieving them. Can be extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Almost impossible if you're in storm conditions. You'll never get it back until the storm abates.
You can imagine the weight on it.
Oh, incredible.
One thing I think we're both really passionate about is not letting boats rot in marinas and harbours and trying to get people out on the water, because that's what boating is all about, and we discuss it in this bit next. I hope people are inspired by the videos we've done sailing around the UK, and hopefully there'll be a lot of people sailing around the UK this year coming up this summer. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Because we want to see sailors getting out there, enjoying their boats, not leaving them to rot in marinas and harbours and stuff. Get on your boat and start sailing it, because it was built to sail, so you should go out and sail and enjoy the weather, enjoy the nature and the environment. Beautiful sea. It's tea time, 5:15, and I'm just making the tea. It's quite rocky today as we got the trade winds. We got ham. It's like canned ham. It's like pasta sauce and pasta. One thing we're absolutely desperate for is cheese. We've got no cheese to go on there, and it's absolutely devastating. I can't tell you how devastating it is.
Luke's having cheese withdrawals.
Today I am, yeah. Desperate for cheese.
I'm not that bad really. I could do with some cheddar, but looks you know, suffering a little bit here now.
I am.
No, seriously, you are, aren't you?
Yeah. Desperate for cheese.
Desperate.
The
Craving.
cheddar cheese taste. I don't even want to talk about it because it drives me crazy.
6 days, my son. 6 days.
Here she is. Ham. It looks like chips. It looks like chips. Oh no, I feel so good.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. How do you feel? Nice?
Delicious. Pasta with meat and pasta sauce.
Delicious.
Yeah, pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. We're just eating. Night time is coming upon us. If that makes any sense. And there's a lot of thunderclouds around. There's a lot to our stern. Some nasty looking ones over there. All around us really. Not sure which way the clouds are moving, but if that comes over, that's going to dump a lot of rain and wind on us. But what we're going to do is put a reef in the main before dark and keep an eye on that cloud formation behind us. If it starts getting closer, I'll put another reef in the main, have a double reefed main, and get some Jenny in. But it's lovely. It really is absolutely fantastic to have good, solid trade winds. You've had them all day, no let up, just constant wind. Been absolutely flying all day, and it's a brilliant feeling. Really, really nice feeling. And we're closing in on our destination at quite a pace.
Adam has gone a bit, well, a bit worried really. He's gonna think he's gone a bit crazy.
I think I am going a bit
What are you doing?
mad. Well, I've made a pocket.
Made a pocket.
It's a pocket it is. It's for the lines in the cockpit and those laying on the floor.
The ropes.
Whatever. I don't like them being on the floor, so I've made a pocket and I'm sketching out the word Atlas and cutting out a fabric, and I'm going to stitch this onto there so it says Atlas.
Yes. Why?
I think it'll look pretty darn cool. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it will look good, won't
It'll
it?
look pretty cool, eh?
You've got loads of time on your hands.
I loads of time, so I'm going to
Another
Yeah.
6 days, isn't it?
stitch that on there, and I might get some of that nicely coloured rope and stitch it around the edges to make it really fancy. Anyway, I've got a whole week left at sea, so I've run out of games and books and everything, so I'm moving on to arts and crafts.
We'll see how it comes out, innit?
Yeah. We've got some beautiful trade wind sailing yesterday, last night, and now again today. Just absolutely perfect winds. We've got about 15 knots from astern, and it's just lovely. Moving along between 5 and 5.5 knots. Doesn't get any better than this. It's taking a bit of getting used to though. The boat tends to rock from port to starboard quite heavily sometimes, but I'd rather that than struggling with wind and struggling with the deflating spinnaker all the time. And yeah, is that your new, oh, Luke's made some new seating, haven't you, Luke?
I am a professional boater, and I've made a new seat for when we're rocking like mad, like we're doing now, going down with the winds.
Not bad at all. He's got a board under there, a wooden board running across here.
Yeah, look at this.
What we're finding is when we go downwind, the boat just goes
port, starboard, all the time. It just throws you off of the couch, off the seat.
So I made this professional looking seat, and I can just relax here like this.
In comfort. You're living in God's pocket, aren't you?
The reason I made the seat though was because Adam stole my seat.
I did steal Luke's seat, but he's been laying here for 17 days.
I haven't been laying there for 17 days.
And I've been on this side for 17 days.
I'm having a pee.
And the wind has been coming from the northeast. So I've been bracing for 17 days here and getting thrown out on my seat. And Luke's been vegetating there for 17 days. Good morning, everyone. It's day 18, 7:30 in the morning. Just been woken up because it's quite a brisk wind. The seas are quite lumpy. As you can tell.
We've had a bit of a disaster this morning. We both had delicious ready breck, and when we first tasted it, the milk was sour. And an even bigger of a disaster. I don't know if you can see the black stuff down there.
Yeah.
The black stuff. It's the Marmite. It sort of leaked out into the bottom of the cupboard.
All of it.
All of it. Oh. So yeah, got to clean all that up. Disaster because we lost the Marmite. God, love Marmite as well.
So Luke's taken on the task of wiping everything down, and he's washing and I'm gonna wipe everything, and I'm gonna clean it all out in there. The absolute stinking mess of Marmite.
It's going to be dark in half an hour, and before dark we always, what do?
Reduce sail. Gonna put a reef in the main
Reduce
sail.
sail, yeah. So we're just going to reef the main, and here we go. Job done. One reef to main, ready for the night. You can see on board, the sea has got up quite a bit today. Obviously you can't probably see it on camera, can't get a definition, but there is about 3 meter swells at the moment. And that cloud there in the distance looks a bit, well, looks a bit rainy and threatening. And you can see how much Atlas is rocking. So you can imagine it's quite uncomfortable downstairs. Hopefully that's it for the night. Still really warm and nice, pleasant.
Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. Today is the 31st of January 2022. It's just gone midday. It feels like about 27, 28 degrees today. We have a northeasterly wind, 15 to 20 knots, constant really, it's pretty good. We've done 123.5 nautical miles in the last 24 hours, average speed of 5.1 knots. We've done a total of 1,733 miles and have 400 miles to go to Martinique.
Doing the washing in the trade winds.
Yeah.
It's really, it's quite rocky on board, but it still doesn't mean you don't have to do washing. I'm gonna do the washing and then I'm having a full body like shower with the shower thing this afternoon. I'm just gonna clean inside the boat today.
That's right.
I'm just washing bed sheets and pillowcases and stuff. It's a gorgeous day, but just a bit rolly and windy.
So we're starting to get pretty darn excited now. We're really getting there. We're starting to count down, definitely counting down the days now. Yeah, it's looking really good. It was, wasn't it?
And we had good wind, didn't we?
Yeah, we had really good trade winds.
Really good.
From then on out, really.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a chat later on about. So we're getting so near now. About when we are planning to get there. We'll go through it in a bit. We'll have a chat on camera and tell you about it. Because we're a bit in between. Well, the situation is, at our current pace,
It's annoying, yeah.
it looks like we're going to be arriving early hours of early hours of Friday morning or Thursday night.
Yeah.
We don't really want to arrive at night. A couple of reasons. We've never been there before, and it's meant to be really busy, and we don't want to finish the Atlantic trip in the dark. I don't want to do that, so I think we're going to hold off, and we.
Yeah, slow down the last 24 hours and arrive Friday morning. We could rush and get more sail up and steam there, but it means rushing, a bit of stress for a few days to try and rush the boat there. We don't want to damage anything. No point in damaging.
No.
So we're just you gotta learn to be patient when you're sailing.
Yeah. There's good wind predicted now and from now on. So I think we're going to keep the boat moving at a steady pace until Thursday, and then we're going to judge the situation and slow the boat down accordingly to arrive there in the light. So I think that'll be a much better solution. It's only one more night anyway. Got big swells. So it's the afternoon now, 3 PM, and these big swells have started coming in from the east, or slightly southeast. We're predicted 3 metre. They're big lumps of water. Up we go, down we go. They're massive, aren't they?
Yeah, they're like more like 5.
Yeah, huge. The wind's eased, but I can see in the distance it's going to start picking up again. It's day 19 at sea. It's Tuesday. We are looking to make landfall on Friday morning. So about 3 days time we should be in Martinique, which is insane. Can't quite believe it. Not long ago we had over a week. It's just boggles my mind. What an incredible feeling as we're nearing the end, knowing that we've nearly crossed our hopefully first of many oceans. So it's not that many oceans, but you know what I mean. Still got about 20 knot gusts today. The sea is still swelly. About 48 hours now of this rocking back and forth, but the more it continues, the more we're getting used to the rocking now. It's becoming normal. When we get to Martinique on anchor, we'll probably be nice and still, but we'll still be rocking ourselves like this. 3 days left, Luke.
Yeah, just Atlas has been a wonderful boat. We knew she was lovely, and we just feel so safe on her. Atlas, a rival 34. She's built in 1979, so she's really quite old, but she's so well built. She is just a testament to her build quality, really.
Yeah.
She's just really kept us safe, hasn't she?
Totally kept us safe.
She is a home.
A floating tank
She's lovely.
of a home. And she's 43 years old, I believe. Her maths is right off the top of my head. And she proves her worth.
She does. You wouldn't want any other boats, really.
No.
Where's your thing? Is it still on?
Yeah.
We've got a fish on at last. Oh,
Big
please, please, please.
Big
Land it.
Maui.
Hopefully it's a tuna.
We got it!
We've got fish.
We got it!
We're eating fish.
Yes! A fish for tea!
Oh, we got
Oh.
fish.
I used my homemade hook to bring it on board. Worked the treat, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to dispatch of it now. It's a nice Maui.
Yeah, it's a good size.
Yeah.
Yes.
We caught it with a flying fish. It landed on the deck.
Oh. Thrilled. Absolutely thrilled.
And me. Totally thrilled. Oh, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. A nice big Maui for tea. Fantastic. Absolutely over the moon with this one. Over the blooming moon. We had a flying fish lure on there. It landed on deck. We put it on there, and yeah, that's what we got from it. Fantastic. Maui. Again. 2 giant platefuls.
Maui.
We're going to have it with some pasta sauce.
It looks delicious, Ed.
It does, doesn't it? I just filleted it in 2 giant long pieces while Luke hid downstairs,
I don't like it.
nearly being sick and heaving. Can't stand
No,
it.
I wasn't.
He can't stand to look at the fish or smell it or see it, or he just totally freaks out.
Yeah, because it's cruel.
He's a wimp. This is the pouch I made to go on here. It's finally completed. I'm just going to stick it on there. Is that about level? Yeah.
So the mainsail, is it?
Yeah.
Looks fantastic, Ed.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's a rope tidy.
Rope tidy. Oh, that's amazing.
Good morning, everyone. It is the 2nd of February. It's just gone midday. Temperature today is about 28 degrees. It's warming up as we're getting nearer the Caribbean. We have an easterly wind, 10 to 13 knots, going that way. We've done 103 nautical miles in the last 24 hours, average speed of 4.3 knots. We've done a total of 1,944 nautical miles, and we only have 200 miles left to get to Martinique. That's 2 days. How exciting is that?
We got our lightweight spinnaker up, which is one of our becoming one of our most favourite sails of the boat. It's surprising, really. Once you get it up, you think, oh, why didn't I get it up earlier? Because it's so big, it settles the boat down and stops it from rocking side to side. It obviously gives you way more speed. We were dropping into the 3 knotages, and now we're doing 4.5 knots to 5.5 knots. So a lot better. And it is really, yeah, I think we got a larger spinnaker, more heavyweight, black one. And I think this one is becoming more of a favourite than the black one. We have 2 more nights to go. We've got about 170 miles left until Martinique. And this is our last normal night. Tomorrow night we'll be so close to the islands we probably won't sleep much. The sun is going down on another glorious hot day.
So we were coming towards the end of our 22-day passage across the Atlantic. This is something we always dreamt about doing it. It was always in the back of our minds, and we were on the verge, on the cuff of completing a lifelong ambition.
Yeah,
As you can tell, we were getting so excited about it. It was amazing.
The excitement and, I don't know, the sense of achievement of sailing this far offshore, and just you know, the excitement of it all. I can't really explain it, but it's just it was just an incredible feeling to be getting every day, getting closer and closer and closer. We're like 200 miles and 100 miles, and it was just like, wow, we're actually gonna we can say to people, or say to ourselves, we've sailed across the Atlantic in our own boat. Amazing.
Absolutely incredible. What an experience we had. Amazing. 97 miles to go.
Yeah, this is our last full day at sea,
Incredible.
and we're feeling quite
Giddy.
giddy with excitement. It's amazing to be able to cross the Atlantic Ocean. 21 days at sea, I think.
Yeah, it'll be 22 tomorrow. Dag Anderson said it'd be 22 days. Looks like he's right. Got a nice wind now. Beautiful. Really fast. Nice steady progress. My last day.
I'm just getting beautified ready for the land.
Yeah. It's the first time he's shaved in a month. You'd have a beard though, wouldn't you?
Yes. I've got to let it grow.
Like me. I haven't trimmed my beard since we left. It's getting all thick and fluffy. Getting out of control really. It keeps going into my ears. So I am going to trim it, but I'll probably wait until we get there. It's nice and calm. Otherwise, I'll do it when we're sailing. It'll be all messed up.
Our last meal of the Atlantic Passage. We got stewing steak with gravy, potatoes, and green beans and carrots.
All from tins.
All from tins. But it is our last meal from crossing the Great Atlantic Ocean.
Final meal before destination.
We're about 40 miles away from the mainland of where are we going?
Martinique.
Martinique. And yeah, it's coming to an end. I feel a little bit sad really that it's coming to an end, and the adventure, the Atlantic adventures for this part is over. Well, it will be over, and then yeah, I got a feeling I'm gonna miss just traveling out in the open ocean all the time. Don't get me wrong, I'm really looking forward to getting there and stuff, but I'm just got a feeling I'm gonna miss it at the same time. I'm sure there'll be many other adventures. We've got some really good adventures in our plans, so hopefully everybody can stick around and follow us. Just want to say a massive thank you to all the patrons on this trip. We've had so many messages through the Garmin from our patrons who've been following us on the map share. It's been really amazing, and to talk with our patrons every day, it's just been really, really amazing to have that communication with the outside world, and the encouragement and the support they've given us is it's just been absolutely just fantastic. It's blown us away, it has. 3:45 in the morning and got land to hoe. We can see the lights on the land, but obviously we can't see the land yet because it's dark. We just had to get the spinnaker in because the wind has increased, so we got the genoa back out.
Yeah, feels like Christmas this morning. I was sleeping, but just not deeply, just dozing, sleeping all night.
Yeah.
Just waiting, looking at the clock like a child waiting for Christmas. Yeah. I'm sure I can smell stuff out there. Like land.
It's 5 to 6 in the morning, a bit more awake now. We can actually see all the lights of the land. It's incredible. Just go sailed across the Atlantic Ocean. It's, yeah, I've said that probably in this video. He probably said sailed across the Atlantic Ocean like 50 times, so forgive us for that. It's 6 o'clock in the morning and there is no sign of light yet. As soon as there's light, I shall, yeah, give you a glimpse of the island. We're desperate to see it. Adam's just going to do a quick chart update. We are just making our way towards a lighthouse. Over to Adam.
So here's the chart update on the morning of arrival at Martinique. As Luke said, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. That's where we are. This is Martinique. We're literally just gonna go around. That's the lighthouse, Luke said. We're gonna anchor up in this little bay here, St. Anne. And there's Martinique, everyone. Right there. Let there be light. And there was light. Sun's starting to rise. Don't know if you can see some lights. This is Martinique. The lighthouse on the end.
Nearly made it.
Yes.
Big waves.
Yeah, as soon as we get around this headland, we're protected from all this. Need to get in there. We decided to head for the main anchorage. We're gonna have a good look around in the main anchorage in there because there's shops in there and stuff. It's meant to be extremely busy in there. We'll have a good look round anyway. I'm sure we can find a spot for our little yacht.
Martinique. 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 It's Martinique. Oh my god. We done it. We done it, Ed.
Yeah, I know. Sailed across the Atlantic Ocean.
We have.
22 days.
Yeah. It's amazing.
The yacht's anchored over there.
Yeah.
Just gotta go over there now around the point. Yeah. Finally, we arrived. What do you think?
Well, I can smell land. It smells of leaves, grass and vegetation. It smells pretty wonderful. I just can't believe we've done this. It's incredible, really. Getting a bit teary. Incredible. Happy. Really happy. Really happy.
Goody. We made it! Woo!
Oh, so funny, me. It's so silly.
First impressions is I cannot believe how green and lush the land looks. It's so green and foresty. Can't wait to go exploring in all the forests. It looks like forest. Looks incredible. Looks like paradise.
It is paradise.
Just coming into the main anchorage now. We're going to find a spot, hopefully. Should be able to. Tons of boats in here. Made our way right into the bay, and I think we're going to anchor somewhere over there if we can find a spot.
We've arrived at our destination after 22 days, 2,100 miles roughly. We're here in Martinique. We found a nice little spot in between all the other anchored vessels. We are tired, didn't have much sleep last night. All the night watches have been doing, catching up with us. So we're pretty tired, want to get some fresh food and have a sleep and recharge our batteries, so to speak.
Done the Atlantic.
Congratulations.
Come on, Leah.